Welcome back to another episode of Dot Line Podcast. I'm your host, DJ Scotty 230, and today we're going to talk about how to be unoffended. But first, um, business at hand, of course. Like, share, subscribe as always. But from now until the end of 2025, free DJ services and loosely on the free, quote unquote, is there is no booking fee. There is no back end fee. There is no upfront fee, however you want to categorize it. There's none of that. If you need me, I'll be there type shit. Strictly cash app, Venmo based once I'm on site. Something that I do kind of want to specify and clarify. If, let's say, you live in buckfuck Egypt and you want me to DJ, there is a travel fee. But if you live in a certain amount of, distance, yeah, we can work something out. But yeah, free DJ services from now until the end of 2025. And yeah, I'm hoping that to get clients and hoping to get people to buy into that, so that we can, network, man, so that we can get, other things set up, so that we can all grow as a unit. But now to the task at hand, to the business at hand, why you clicked on this video. Unoffended. Mm. A very pertinent topic to be unoffended. Um, a lot of things have been put in my perspective um, lately, as far as that go. As far as just things that have taken place in my village, things that I've seen, that kind of made me compelled to make this video for Wisdom Wednesdays, because I feel like in this day and age, and I'm included in this, we're so easily offended by things that are not pertinent. And what I mean by pertinent is it's not pertaining to really nothing. And what I mean by it's not really pertaining to nothing, it's not cutting days out of your life. It's not Xing you out of eternal life, whether you believe in that or not. It's not respawning you back here once you transition. It's not, making you shorter or taller. It's not gaining you no physical attributes. Being offended, being talked about in a positive or a negative aspect, it does not equate to nothing pertinent, nothing predominant, nothing that's worthwhile. Um, it's a lot of Stoics, a lot of Greek philosophers that have so many different tidbits on how to navigate through being offended. One scholar of the Greek era was saying, like, pretty much, why would I be offended if everybody sees it? So, for like example, everybody sees or hear that I stutter. I'm not offended by my stutter. Sometimes I may be a little bit insecure still to this day, but years ago, it was like I had to hide that. That was like, you know, uh, a deadbeat child, or like a child that I abandoned. And I didn't want the world to know that I had a child. That's kind of how like that was, as far as is, me trying to hide that, but never had what God personally took time to add to your being. God took his time when he made me. I wholeheartedly believe that, and took your time, and he took his time when he made you as well. So never had your flaws from out the world, because that's just what makes you you. That's what makes you uniquely you. Like I said on a few videos back, there will never be another you. There will never be another you. You are the only you that will ever exist in this world, in this day and age. So yeah, but I just feel like from social media to um just so much from social media to personal things to relationships. We know the art of communication is very non-existent because the art of communicating has, like everything, has been saturated. Even the basic fundamentals of just literally just speaking, verbal communication, has been saturated. Something so obvious, because of our life experience, off of what we expect to experience, is altered. I learned recently, visually and sensory, this all of your factors, your senses are, to some, may be considered a illusion. So smelling, taste, vision, all that is, to some philosophers, to some theologists, to some scientists, pro- pro- professors, whatever you want to, like, score them as, they kind of deem that as, a illusion, a play on your reality, like nothing is actually for real type shit. So even when you speak to somebody, um the verbal dialect, the vibration of you speaking, once they hit their ears, and their mind computes what they want to compute, because literally that's how, from our comprehension, that's how the brain is wired. They did like the dress test, they did the Laura Yanny test, like, is this plays on, like, your mind because of how the mind is wired. Some people may hear certain things based off the frequency of how it's said, and this and there is this how certain people's minds are wired. Same thing with you being offended. Like your mind is kind of set in default. Like, now, if this happened and that happened and this happened, I'm gonna automatically react this way. Versus having a clear aspect of what it is and what is not. We live in a world of over 8 billion people, and I feel like that number is growing. And you have to factor in is a multi different languages, multi different cultures. Is hella countries. Is hella dynamics, is hella factors into everything that we perceive as reality, everything that we perceive on our day to day. Your day to day is not somebody else's day to day. It's a child maybe in Egypt or in Nigeria that is already working, and he's about 8, 9 years old. I seen the video not too long ago. I think he was somewhere in Africa, or a third world country, and he was a bricklayer. He was about 8 or 9, and he was laying bricks. Versus me being 8 or 9, I'm taking trips to Disney World. I'm doing kid shit. Because that was my reality. That was what I seen every day. So my mind is wired to, okay, when I get older and I start having kids, this is what they're gonna do at this age, and woo, woo, woo. Versus that child at 8 or 9, once he started having kids, he's gonna be like, nah, okay, at 8 or 9, I was doing X, Y, Z. So, maybe his children are gonna do X, Y, Z. Or he could be like, I paved the way, I paid it forward, so you don't have to, you feel me? So all of that is based off of experience, like your your perception ties into you know the same moniker of being offended. So me saying, like, oh, I would never have my children out there doing that, a Nigerian or wherever this child is from, parents might take offense to that, because that's their culture. But off of my perspective, I'm viewing that as something that a child should not be doing, which in a lot of countries, that's perspective based. Everything is based off of how you perceive it, off of how you interpret it. Like I just said, like everybody's mind is wired differently to hear, to see, to comprehend differently. So when we're communicating with each other, when we're really hitting home with certain things, whether it be our with our loved ones, with our finances, with whatever the case may be. We're not in a place and space. I feel like now where, like I said, just the bare basics of communication is really comprehended without being offended. You can't go to your parents no more and be like, "Hey, this happened, that happened," and in a adult aspect, like, "Hey, you know, can we talk about XYZ without you being disrespectful, without them feeling like, that's not your place to ask me that. That's not in the child's place to question something. In the Black culture, that's dominant. That's very predominant. Once you get older, because from way back when the generational curse started, it started. You can't even track it. That's how far back it goes. That and it just started rolling downhill. It just started rolling downhill since we landed on this continent. The generation curses just start rolling downhill. And fast forward to this day and age where a lot of stuff in the Black culture is just accepted, and you better not question it, or offenses is gonna come. And I just find that very tumultuous. But again, that's my perspective. But me personally, um, pretty much since I became a father, I had to really put on the full armor of God, piece by piece, literally fragment by fragment, because it's very cliche, to say, oh, once you have a child, you become a woman, or a man, for real, you become an adult, which is true, but it's very cliche and it's saturated. Because everybody, again, we experience life differently. It may be a 18-year-old right now having their first child, but their family is wealthy. So they're not going to have, or let me up the age to 20, because I became a father at 20. So it may be somebody who's 20 years old having a child, but they're wealthy. They're not going to have the same experience that I had with my daughter when I first became a father. Um, and is this you just see a different aspect the more and more that you unlock different things. And I had to learn from being a father, from working multiple jobs at once, from working multiple jobs over a course of so far 9, almost 10 years straight of working. And I'm thankful for that. That you interact with people from different ethnicities, you interact with people from different backgrounds, completely different from yours, and just like how they perceive stuff as offended is, like, or take offense to things is crazy. Like I can remember, and said this on one of my earlier episodes. I'm not going to say the job, but worked at a job where I was the only Black person there, and owners were Greek, and the rest of the staff were Hispanic. And me being 18, 19, or no, 19, 20, um, you know, I didn't have their life experiences, but they was offended by my work ethic, because my work ethic was nowhere near how it is now. It was in the development stage. It was very, untapped potential, for real, for real. But fast forward to now, if I was to go back there, I'd be, but I was restricted there too because of I'm not like them. I'm not part of the ownership, and this and the third, and or I'm not tenure. I'm not there for 30 or 40 years. I didn't grow up with the original owner or whatever the case may be. It was a lot of nepotism, there's a lot of favoritism, but I grew from that, because of a lot of days that I was abruptly offended, from jokes being cracked, from me coming in early and me being, chastised for coming in early because I was literally in walking distance of this job that I'm talking about. And me being um, you know, talked about because I came in early by management, saying like you see what happens when you come in early, these guys stop working. Just think about at 19, 20 years old when you fresh in the world, you a new father or about to become a father, and you're working at a place that you grew up going to every day after school, getting food from, and somebody, that is in the management position that you grew up seeing every day says shit like that. Of course, being 19, 20 years old, that crushed me. But it's something that I have learned about being offended. You gain thicker skin. You gain a deep rooted um, fascination about who you are. Because at that time, I didn't know what misery looked like. That man in question that said that was very miserable at that time, and I pray that he's doing better now than he was back then. Because this individual was extremely miserable. Um, Fast forward to um, other jobs where let's say that's maybe like FedEx. I can say, for example, at FedEx, I worked in a department called non-con, and if you're watching this video and you work with me at FedEx in non-con, you know how tumultuous that job would be, and it may be during peak season, where the belt is fucking hammered with shit. And non-con, you have all the non-convertible shit. That's what non-con means. So, what all the industrial shit, big ass boxes. We had to get these poles from McMaster that were going to Indy. Probably literally no bullshit. It was probably a truck of that. So think of a FedEx semi truck filled to the fucking brim. Probably one that have almost two trucks full of just those motherfucking holes going to Indy, to like build, I guess, to build houses and build, it was like steel beams. Some were, frail, some was heavy as fuck. So it's just like the fact being you get offended by the fact that it's only, let's say, 10 people for a volume of maybe 100,000, 200,000 packages. It's only about 10, maybe 12 people. They may, radio, hey, they need help at non-con. Help may come, help may not. Of course, you're going to be offended because you're working yourself to death for, I think at that time, I was making what, $17 an hour, maybe $18 an hour, like 17, $18 an hour. I was only working for 4 hours. That was a part-time job. They didn't make that a full-time gig. It was probably about 3 or 4 people there who were full-time. It was like, well, probably 6 because it's about 4 tenured managers, and then it was two, oh no, four 10-year non-con workers, and then it was like two managers. And then by the time I left, it was another manager there in non-con. But it's just this world, like what I'm trying to say, that this world is filled with so much that can offend you, so much that can offend you, to a point to where you don't know who you are no more. That you wake up and be like, damn, I really do stutter so bad that I shouldn't be loved. Or you wake up and say, man, like my weight is so bad that I'm not supposed to be loved, because of how you perceive yourself off of somebody saying something to you, or you can be offensive to yourself. That self sabotage, that self doubt of oneself, to look in the mirror and be like, oh, I don't see no greatness. I don't see what God has done for me. I don't see what's happening around me, because I'm so predicated on a preconceived notion of how somebody should speak to me, how somebody should approach me, in this and third. And I'm not saying don't have boundaries. I'm not saying that at all. But one thing I will say with surety, no matter who this person is, to you, mother, father, daughter, sister, cat, snake, dog, it don't matter. A motherfucker don't have to respect your boundaries. They don't. They don't. But if they cross that boundary, that's a different story. You handle that how you see fit. But again, if you are offended by them disrespecting your boundaries, or if they do something to cross that boundary, if you choose to whoop their ass, if you choose to go off, you're triggered, right? So to keep yourself from being in that place and space, I feel like the default thing is to let people naturally exist. And what do I mean by that? Let people be the best version of themselves way over yonder. Oh, fuck away from you. Like that's the best thing to do. But if you stay in people's face, if you stay, oh man, I don't know why such and such do that, and this is my last time fucking with such and such. And then a week later, yeah, I'm finna go over such and such house. You can't, you cannot be mad at putting yourself up, setting yourself up for failure. You can't. If somebody come in there and the environment, how people are wired. This world is filled with illogical people. I talk about the paradigm, the paradoxical commandments. Please check out that video if you have not. I talk about how illogical people are, and how people just, again, like I said at the beginning of this video, hear the world based off of preconceived notions, based off of how they want to interpret it. So you may be perfectly living your life, and somebody just want a reason to just be mad, just want a reason to just be miserable. And maybe they just got laid off from work. Maybe they just got into a bad screaming match with a significant other. People hate to see you in your glow. No wonder they want to offend you. No wonder they want to hurl insults. No wonder the little things that you are doing in the midst of your life to try to better yourself. You're taking it one day at a time because you're dealing with financial strife. You're dealing with the unknown unknowns. You're dealing with your personal improvement battles. Of course, especially if they see that, quote unquote, you're managing it better than what they are, how they perceive they're handling their bullshit versus how you handling yours. Of course they're gonna attack you. Of course they're gonna be like, man, they not all that and woo woo, and they always doing this, they always doing that. And something else you may not have thought of, right? Let's say, for like example, right? I go in a place or space and motherfuckers be like, hey, ain't that the stuttering DJ? right? Let's just say hypothetically, right? Ain't that the stuttering DJ, right? I should not be offended by that. And I won't be offended by that because I'll be like, show this. Thanks for noticing. Because we all see that. May stutter, but I'm a hell of a DJ too. You know, like it's stating the obvious. You should be mad at somebody stating the obvious. If you have a big bag and be like, that bitch back big. Thanks for noticing. You know, and then a woman's rebuttal will probably be, "But your man love it," or I got good pussy though," or you know something along those lines. And stand on your flaws. It's like we all got them, and I know because you know how I'm wired. Like I crack jokes on myself. I crack jokes on others mentally. I don't just go out and just go out my way to like talk shit about somebody. I'm not that big of an asshole, but like it's just like the fact being like motherfuckers gonna always think of something to say about somebody, you know, regardless of the fact. But I just want you to know that no matter what insecurities that you feel like you have, no matter what somebody is saying about you, no matter what's going on, protect your peace at all costs. Protect who you are, you and yours at all costs. Because we're heading towards an unprecedented time. We're already there, but like it's kind of like Steph Curry for like threes. Every three that he hit from here on out is a record breaking three because he holds the record for most threes made ever. So every three that he hits from now until the day that he like hang him up is a record breaking three. So that's kind of where we're at with society. Every time that you see anything, with the Venezuelan thing or um political or this disease, that disease, or this scandal, that scandal, is a new record breaking thing. We have a lot that we don't know. We have a lot that's going on around us that we just don't know. So if we lower our perspective to, damn, a motherfucker talking about my stutter. Damn, a motherfucker talking about this, that, and third. We lower our perspective is nothing but a distraction. Nothing but a distraction at the end of the day because you should have your mindset on making sure I'm fit, like that you fed every day. If you got kids, making sure the kids, good, they straight, they got everything that they need. Making sure if you have a significant other that they straight, to the best of your abilities and all they needs are met to the best of your realistic and best of your abilities. And, everything else kind of is miscellaneous and making sure, of course, making sure like the money right, but everything else is miscellaneous. If a motherfucker talking shit, whether they're friends, family, stranger, motherfucker on social media, it's a distraction. Being offended is a distraction from your purpose. Like I said, we all have a task at hand on this planet. We all have a task at hand. So if I'm hurling insults at you, I'm trying to distract you. If I'm yelling and screaming, if I'm not listening to what you're trying to say, I'm trying to distract you from speaking your truth. Trying to distract you from speaking something that somebody needs to hear because I'm offended by how much resilience, how much growth that you have done. Because anybody who has wisdom has experienced firsthand something that has led them to speak that wisdom. So if I'm hearing what you're saying and my mind is computing like, oh shit, they snapping. Hey, no, fuck that. Like if I'm doing that, I'm, 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 I'm being offended. You should not be offended. you know, Protect your peace, protect who you are at all times, because it's so much that's arming up, that's taking, that's putting on the brass knuckles, that's sharpening the machete, that's practicing the baseball swing to go against you, and it may not even be a physical attack. It may just be situational attacks that you have to prepare yourself mentally for. It's okay to have ever been offended. It's perfectly fine. Perfectly fine. That's human nature. And you may once you end this video, you may see something on Facebook, you may walk outside, you may head to work, you may be on your way to work, and it may be something that offends you. It may be something that, man, this some it's okay, but treat it like a alarm. Treat your offense like a alarm. You can hear it, but soon as you hear it, wake up and turn that motherfucker off. Don't just let the emotions just ring, 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 ring all down your being. It should not do that, because you know who you are, you know how the world works. If I feel like if you're 18 or older, and especially 21 or older, I would hope and pray that you have had enough life experience, you have read enough books, you have watched enough news, you have been more attentive to how the world is, and that you can apply logic to situations, not how you perceive it, not prejudice thinking, not how you want it to go, not how you think it should go, but how it's really going. In the words of CEO Trill, bitches play, niggas play, I play it how it go. So play it how it go. For real, for real. Like don't just don't just sit there and just be like, oh man, well, I think it should go this way. And I have a bad habit of doing that too. But I'm logical enough to be like, okay, okay. But that this is like I quickly correct myself. I try to be as transparent with myself as possible about illogical things, because day in, day out, especially going to my job and just observing, going to different places and spaces and observing. Of course, I'm gonna pinpoint a lot of things that I feel like should not be a certain way, but things have to actually exist in the element, and it's not for me to take offense to it. Things naturally exist. Things have naturally existed prior to me being created. Things have naturally existed while I'm here, and things will naturally exist after I'm gone. It's just what the fuck it is. It's just the world that we live in. So I leave you with this thought. What are some things that you can do to help alleviate your triggers? What are some things that you can do to better handle once you're triggered? What are some things that you can look at and be like, let me exit away from this person, this job, this family member, this relationship, this friendship, this partnership, this business arrangement. If it's not producing at an optical level at this day and age, it has to go. Like, it has to go. If the shit is not firing at all cylinders and there is no way to repair it and we can get this shit going, remove it. Remove it. Because in this day and age, you need shit to be firing at all cylinders. It's okay to have setbacks, but we have to band together and move forward. If you can't band together and fix what needs to be fixed without motherfuckers getting offended, without motherfuckers saying, nah, fuck that, this is why I'm talking about, leave it alone. Love me or leave me alone, in the words of Jay-Z. But definitely, yeah. I hope something was said on today's episode to help you get through your week. I pray wisdom has been shared upon your life. I pray that something is resonating through your being right now. And I pray that I'm able to continue to do these videos as much as I possibly can, and I stay consistent, and you stay consistent clicking these videos. As always, y'all, like, share, subscribe to the podcast. Continue to grow this channel. Continue to grow this channel so that the channel can grow. simple math, So, um, and it's always, love y'all and um, remember free DJ services from now until the end of 2025. If you need me, I'll be there. No upfront fee, no back end fee. But again, if you're in way over yonder or buckfuck Egypt, there would be a travel cost. But I'll still be there. But yeah, until next time, this is your boy, DJ Sky Tudati, aka Mr. Make You Move Your Body, signing off. Peace.